Hello everybody, this is House of Tutorials. Today we'll be doing a video on the Roland's Legacy set. For this we have the Topaz in the helm for reduced resource cost. And for the weapon, I used a one-handed weapon just for the skill passive for additional attack speed and cooldown reduction. It's really the only good one I had, so I didn't really have a choice there. You do want to have this. The more attacks you do more damage for each consecutive attack there. And rings, only decent rings I have, besides my Legacy of Nightmare set. Hellfire Amulet for an extra passive there. Okay, but for skills, sweep attack, I went ahead and picked the fire one to do more damage. The only other one you might want to pick is this one, just to kind of pull enemies in towards you, but you don't necessarily need that. Heaven's Fury, just to do some more damage, kill the elites. For some reason it takes forever for me to kill the elites, so just to do more damage. Steed Charge, those extra couple seconds make the big difference going through. Akarat's Champion, you can do the Fire Starter for additional damage, or if you don't need damage but you need more Wrath, you can do Embodiment of Power for additional Wrath. Laws of Valor to do more damage passive and then activate it and do more critical hit damage and attack speed as well. And Judgment, this is, I wouldn't say it's necessary, but it's highly recommended to pull enemies towards the center to get that achievement. And then here we have Holy Cause for damage, additional Wrath. Here's the passive with a one-handed additional 50% attack speed and cooldown reduction. And Blunt, actually forgot to change this one, so you can, still not really much else to pick. You can pick Finery, I already have that in my Hellfire Amulet, I probably would have picked that. But you can't pick Vigilant or anything else really for defense, because there's not much offensive wise besides the other three I have plus my Hellfire Amulet. But for the cube, this definitely need this to do this dungeon. I mean, you probably can do it without it, but you definitely need the golden flints, little weapon there. And for this I have Cinder Coat, since I'm using the fire rune, 30% reduced resource cost. You also can do Laeric's Crown, it doubles the effect of your rune and your helm. For the ring, have Convention of Elements to do more damage when it's on the fire. And for the armor, you can also do fire skills to do more damage if you don't need the resource cost reduction there. Okay, for Paragon, just do all strength, all movement speed and resource on the Wrath first, and then everything else strength for more damage. And then just start from the bottom down, or the top down, and pretty much all of these: life, armor, resist all, area damage, of course, resource reduction. You don't need gold fine, obviously, so just pretty much top down on almost all those. But for location, we'll go to Act 2, go to Road to Alcanis, whatever it's called. Okay, we'll go ahead and go to the bottom left corner here. Portal will pop up right here. Hit 12 different enemies with a single sweep attack 7 times. That's ridiculous. It used to be 5, but they bumped it up to 7, which is 5 was already difficult, so you probably have a hard time. Let's get really lucky. Spend 300 Wrath in 10 seconds 5 times. Easy. With the weapon and your cube, you won't have a problem at all. And then, of course, kill everything else in time. For this is by far the most frustrating map. It took me the longest out of all of them to get this. It's very... You have to strike a balance between going as fast as possible and kind of grouping people up to get the achievement. You don't want to focus too much on one or the other, or else you'll get the achievement 7 times, but then you won't have time to kill everybody, or you just go around killing everybody and then you kill everything in time, but you don't get the achievement. So you have to strike a balance. Can't really tell you which one to do. It's just kind of find whichever one's right. This one I just barely made it. There were 2 or 3 times I had 1 or 2 enemies left. It was so frustrating that I could see them on the map like 20 yards away. I couldn't get to them in time. It was very annoying. So for the success, you spent Wrath 300 Wrath in under 10 seconds. It'll just keep doing that pretty much the whole time. And another tip for little corridors like I was just in there, you generally, sometimes you can get a big group, but for the most part, for those, just kill everything and just rush through them real quick because you don't have much time. And another thing, it's recommended to wait until you have those little, what are those? Not goblins, those things. I forget what they're called. Anyway, you get those together. If you have a group of them, it's definitely recommended to them since they're small and they can group up more. If you have these other guys, you won't get them nearly as easy, if that makes any sense. Okay, but you'll have several times will be, you think, oh, this is 20 people, you hit it and you only get 10 or 11. It's like, really? One thing off, one person off. And you gotta keep trying. So this one, I think I took it. Yeah, that one. It's 13 right there. So use the skill there. I have it as number 4. To group them all up is just a little bit easier, so you don't have to wait as long for them to gather around you. But here you have Steed, just to gather those extra few seconds. And obviously the weapon I have doubles the length, so it does last longer. But like I said, just try and find a balance. It's pretty much one of those dungeons where it's luck of the draw. Sometimes you'll have 3/4 of the way through and you only have 2 times that you hit 12 different enemies with one sweep attack. Like right there, 11 enemies. Really, that should have been way more. But I got 14 right behind me, so it's not too bad. And then obviously you could have accurate champion pretty much the whole time, but I generally only activated it when I was attacking elite. And then of course used my passive and the right click skill there to kill it as quickly as possible. I don't want to spend too much time trying to kill the stupid elites. That's probably the reason why I failed so much before. It took me a long time experimenting with different skills and items. I had to use, I had to craft several different items over and over again. To reroll, I should say, reroll items to get extra damage, extra critical hit chance, critical hit damage, fire damage, or whatever. Super attack damage. For some strange reason, even though I have over 1 million damage and all these buffs, it took forever to kill these stupid elites. So just make sure you stack as much damage as possible. And speed, resource cost reduction, cooldown reduction, it is recommended, but it's not as important as damage, speed, or resource cost reduction. Okay, we're getting close here. I'm getting kind of excited. I was a little panicky because there's still... Actually, you think it's only 8 enemies, but one thing about these little guys running around, a lot of times they do run away from you, little imp things. Yeah, that's what they call imps. They do run away from you sometimes. Sometimes they come back towards you, but not always. So it's, yeah, these stupid little imps. So it's starting to panic here. Luckily, as usual, we have the skull pop up. I got extremely lucky here, like 1 left. And it's coming up around here at the top. And pop, there it is. Panic, get it. Phew, got the Roland's Red achievement, all of them. 3 seconds to spare. Very frustrating. I mean, if you're like over 1,000 Paragon, have everything augmented with the, whatever it's called, like all your items have an additional 400 strength or whatever through the legendary gems, this probably will be easier. But for me, it took a little bit, so, and of course it's also luck. But thank you for watching. Leave any suggestions for your build if you found an easier way. But thank you for watching and see you in my next video.